We ain't gonna know. So might as well just hit the button and go. We're going. Hey everybody. We're finally live.
8:10, that's not bad.
I mean, that's
better than the 27 minutes it was the other day.
That's pretty solid. It's uncanny. Every week, it's a different problem. And the funny part is, it doesn't matter how early we start.
No, I was here. Okay. Oh, your audio over there.
Oh my god.
Why is it over there? Uncanny. It's
uncanny. Hey, reach over and spin the little black button over there.
What black button?
The black button behind my.
Alright, hang on. I'm gonna mess up.
I mean, I could do it too. You want me to go?
Well, my big pot was in the way. Hang on.
Clearly. I left my computer on the channel.
Speaking of uncanny.
Oh man. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Technically Speaking live show, your favorite tech show that never starts on time.
8:10.
That's pretty good for us. That's pretty good for us. I am one of your hosts, the sleep-deprived Greg, and to my right, as always, one of 91 million people that subscribe to T-Series over PewDiePie, Dr. Scott Peachy.
What is T-Series?
Do you not know?
No.
PewDiePie's been dethroned. He is no longer the biggest YouTuber on the planet. It happened.
Okay, hang on a second.
It happened. It is past. It's a thing.
Isn't T-Series like a series of people?
The T-Series is like, they're like an Indian music channel. They do a lot of content.
So they're not a single...
PewDiePie is like the guy.
Alright, well then he's still
so it's slightly different.
YouTuber.
He's not the biggest channel anymore, and that's what he was vying after.
Okay.
So, but I mean, let's be real. They both have over 90 million subscribers. 90 million. That's absurd.
Yeah.
That's
now that they've dethroned him, do you think they're just going to go...
I don't know. I'll be interested to see what happens. I'm interested, like, in the long haul. I mean, fans of PewDiePie have been fans of PewDiePie for a long time. And T-Series came out of nowhere.
I have 3 very excited children watching.
Yeah?
Right now.
Yeah? That's fantastic. Waving goodnight to him.
Of
Hello
course.
to him. Oh my
And
gosh.
we have Dean. Dean!
We got a whole bunch of people out in the audience out there. So first of all, thank you all so much for stopping by. We got Mr. James Root out there. The mayor himself is there. Miss Sheila, we love you so much. Thank you all for stopping by. Jim Lynch, I appreciate you calling us out on never being on time. That means a lot to us.
And Mr. Savage.
And Mr. Savage himself. Also, they're still not here.
No.
Brother, look, I got you. I feel you. It's always something. KP, Andrew Hatchett, what's going on, everybody? And Mr. Preston McNair. T-Series is the biggest channel, like a network. Pew is larger personal creator.
Yep.
Completely agree.
I agree.
Completely
I gotta
agree.
go with Mr. PewDiePie. PewDiePie!
Yeah. Oh, and Melissa's out there, too. Hi, only 10 minutes late.
Thanks.
How about that? It's like a whole...
3 excited kiddos.
Root family reunion out there or something. It's over 9,000. And who else we got there? Oh, Cameron Corey's out there, too. So...
We got a lot of folks out there.
We got a whole bunch of people out there.
Hello,
we appreciate all of your
my
eyeballs and every one of you that
peeps.
stopped by. What do you want to
I'm
start
gonna say
with?
hi to my kids. Hi, kids.
Hello, childrens. Hugs and kisses and
Hugs
stuff.
and kisses and all those things. Goat snuggles. Let's talk about goat snuggles. Goat snuggles. My wife and I were talking this morning about goat snuggles.
I have no frame of reference for where this conversation is going.
Goat snuggles.
Out of all of the things that we talked about before going live,
that was
snuggles.
That was not one of them.
That was not one of them.
It just spurred my memory. Goat snuggles.
Okay.
There is a place. I think it's in like Pennsylvania or something like that. I don't know. Way over there. That allows you to schedule time.
Okay.
To snuggle.
Yeah.
With baby goats. Goat snuggles. Goat snuggles. And I thought, what a great idea. They charge like $20 a head. That you go into, I'm assuming their farm.
To pick up.
To go into, they take 20 people.
Stanky
They take 20 people and they basically shove them in a barn.
Okay.
And say, here is just a flock of baby goats. Are they flocks? What are they?
I don't know. I don't know what the proper...
What is the proper term of a herd of goats?
It's a murder of goats. That's a murder of crows, but still.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You know that?
No, I didn't know that.
That's one of my favorite ones. A murder of goats. And I used to know some other ones.
Anyway,
it's like
so
a pride of lions.
A herd of baby goats, and you snuggle with them for like an hour. You pay $20 to snuggle with baby goats. What a great business idea.
Well, why though? Goats stink.
I don't disagree. But people don't know that. If we get... people don't know that. They're like, oh my God, baby goats. Oh, I want to go. I want to keep... Oh, I want to snuggle with a baby goat.
Look.
Baby goat snuggles.
Look it up on Google.
Baby goat
Baby
snuggles.
goats are not that cute. You're cute.
You take that back,
I will do
sir.
no such thing. I will do no such thing. Baby goats, not that cute. I stand by my word.
Ooh. Triggered.
Come at me.
Triggered.
Come at me, bro.
But if we could, like, let's here's what we need. We need 20 baby goats.
No.
No, okay.
No, we don't.
Okay. 5 baby goats.
Also, no.
We'll just charge $30 an hour.
Also,
we could go...
Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah. What we'll do is we'll go around like schools.
Yeah.
And we'll be like, I got 5 baby goats. Your whole class... I mean, they don't really count as whole humans, so like we'll go $10 a head. Whole class. The 30 kids, you making bank.
That's way too much logistics.
Flock is group of
Way
goats.
too many logistics.
Kids are baby goats.
Snuggling
Really?
goats, very therapeutic. Okay, here's the thing. As somebody who has spent at least a portion of their childhood on a farm, granted it was a dairy farm at that, no.
You can milk a goat.
You can milk a goat. I've done that.
Can you milk me?
I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? Okay, speaking of movies, random
See,
movie,
look at that! Tied it in, baby!
random movie trivia. Okay, I saw this on Jack's Film, a huge channel out there. I've never watched any of their content before. They got some great stuff. They brought up an interesting statistic, kind of like weird fallout of facts that I was like, huh. They got me on this.
He's gonna blow my mind. I'm ready.
Are you ready for this one?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Blow my mind.
Does anybody know? This is the lead up to it, right? Does anybody know what is the highest grossing film of all time? Like highest grossing film period.
Well, I thought it was okay. Highest grossing film of all time.
Yeah.
Is it Titanic?
No.
Okay, I
Beat
thought
Titanic.
It beat Titanic.
Yeah.
Is it a Marvel film?
No.
Wow.
This isn't even the trivia part.
This isn't even the trivia part?
No. It's an unexpected movie. You want it? You want it? You want the answer? I know you do.
Is it?
Can I phone a friend?
Oh wait. Is it a movie?
It's a legit movie.
Is it recent? Terminator 2.
No. No. Great movie though. Fantastic movie.
The Roots.
No.
Like the movie series when it was on TV.
Yeah. No.
You can see where my head was going there.
I see where your head's going. You're gonna miss it, but I can tell you this much: you've been there before.
All right, come on.
Avatar.
That's the highest.
That's the highest grossing movie of all time. Now here comes the interesting part. You're right.
That wasn't interesting. That to me was really interesting.
That's very interesting, right? Can you name any character in the entire Star Wars saga?
Well, yeah, yes.
Okay.
Like you want me to just random
just
one?
name one. Just
Boba
name
Fett.
one. Okay. Can you name any character on the Avengers?
Yes, Iron Man.
Can you name any character from Avatar?
Man.
Very interesting.
What's the mother? The mother.
No. What's the name? Name one of the blue people.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, so I'm thinking of like the.
Are you thinking about the tree?
Yeah, she takes care of it. Like she was the keeper of the tree.
Oh yeah, I couldn't help you there. There was one character I could think of the first name, and then eventually I went, oh yeah, I remember this bit where they reference an individual's last name. One character out of the entire movie. The impressive thing is how this is the highest grossing film of all time, and it has had effectively no impact on popular culture. Nobody remembers the characters. Out of all the people that they interviewed on Jack's Film, asking them the exact same set of questions, there was one person who could name one character.
What's the name of the character?
Jack Sully.
Okay.
That's the human guy, like the dude that falls in love with the blue.
That became a blue.
Yep.
What are they called?
Navi.
Navi. Thank you.
And then there's Awa, the tree, but that one didn't count. They're like, no, that's like a thing. Name one of the characters. Name any one of the characters.
I was thinking
that has,
of
like,
the
lines.
woman that carried the
and I
seeds
still
to
don't
the tree.
It's a great movie. It's a retelling. I mean, it's a tropey movie. Like it's basically like a retelling of Pocahontas and a retelling of a whole bunch of other stories outside
Land
that.
Before Time.
Sure, but it's
Five-O.
Philo Goes West, An American Tail. I love that movie. That was a favorite movie of mine growing up. That
Same
and,
thing.
and
Yeah.
The Secret of Nim. That was a dark movie. Don Bluth movies, man. I used to love Don Bluth as an animator.
I don't know who
We're
that
getting
is.
left of field at this
I don't
point.
know who that is.
I thought that was a really interesting one though. That was a really interesting when you frame it in the context of this is the highest grossing movie of all time that has had basically negligible impact on popular culture. And there is a sequel that is in production.
Why did I choose Boba Fett?
I don't know, but I thought that was an
of
interesting
all of the ones I
because
chose.
you're a big Darth Vader fan.
I'm a very big Darth Vader fan. I like the villains.
Mm-hmm.
I like the villains a lot. They're easy to hate. However, Darth is one of those guys where you're like, I don't really hate him. Like you hate him.
Which is
but
also
then you grow to oh man, I feel bad for you.
yeah.
And
It's
then,
also why you
and then
like Thanos too.
And then I would love Thanos.
Yeah.
I'm coming around
Yeah.
on Thanos'
Yeah.
line of thinking. He is an a-hole,
mm-hmm.
but it's ooh, it's I mean, execution-wise, you could have done a little different, but
he doesn't coddle anybody for sure, but the argument that he provides for why he wants to erase half of all existence, I mean, it's a good argument. It's a good argument. Now, to your point, execution, I mean, can you guarantee that half that you erase,
Right.
would those be in the highest population concentrations where resources are the scarcest? I don't really think that there's a way to do that, but
right. So I think honestly, the way that he did it, where he was just that's very clearly the most fair. Yeah.
Oh, Jacob Watkins has a great question. Darth Vader or Kylo Ren?
It's without question Darth Vader.
I would have to agree.
Unquestionably. Kylo Ren, he's obviously... I can't spoil it. Just in case those, I don't know why, wouldn't have watched to figure out the relationship between the two of them. It's Darth Vader. Kylo Ren's kind of whiny.
I like Kylo Ren. I think he makes a great updated version of a villain. Well, quote-unquote villain. But Empire Strikes Back, Darth Vader is...
best villain ever.
Pinnacle villain. I love the fact that is now a Disney villain. Disney does great villains.
They really do.
They do.
So my next question is Vader or Thanos?
I think Vader is more intimidating.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Thanos is too relatable is the problem. Because even the Avengers, as he's having the conversation about everything, even the Avengers it's on some level, they're going, I mean, I see what you're saying, but you're kind of a dick about it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, Vader, you don't have that with Vader. Vader's just an old school classic bad guy. He's evil for the sake of being evil.
Yeah. But I really like Thanos.
Thanos is a great villain, man. He's a great villain.
I have my next two tattoos.
Yeah.
One is a camera,
Mm-hmm.
like a camera, because obviously, I think we've been doing this YouTube thing for a while. I feel like I can get that tattooed on me and it have a significant meaning. And the next one is Thanos' gauntlet.
I think you should get
gauntlet.
You should get a play button with our subscriber number on it, and then you just every 6 months or so you just have to go back and have it updated.
Laser it off and then redo it again. Laser it off, redo it again. Laser it off, redo it again.
So stupid.
Could you imagine the pain?
No. You would have just a strip of leather right here, right.
The play button would be kind of do the play button on the behind it and then
Yeah.
the camera in front.
That'd be kind of dope.
That'd
Yeah,
be
you should do that. There you go. You're welcome. That one's free.
All right, we got to get into the actual show.
You want to talk about why people still have Facebook accounts?
Why do you have Facebook accounts? Raise of hands for the ones out there that have Facebook accounts. Put your hands down because I'm going to shame you.
Well, at the very least, have you changed your password yet? Because if you haven't, you should. Let's have a conversation first, and then please go change the password on your Facebook account.
Facebook just it's to the point where it's just maliciously not caring.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it maliciously not caring or just maliciously? Well, no. I guess that is not caring. They do not pay any
Malicious negligence.
Yeah, I guess that's the best
Yeah.
way to put it. Is like
Gross negligence.
It's
Yeah.
gross negligence.
Yeah.
We've been told we're out of focus though. Are we out of focus? I mean, I'm looking over the screen over here. Hang on. Doesn't look out of focus to me.
Okay, that could be buffering. I don't know. Talk to the people. Tell the people something.
Which about what? Facebook?
I don't know. Yeah, tell them about Facebook.
So
Let's check this
Facebook decided today that they made a post entitled "Keeping Passwords Secure," which I'm not entirely why they decided to call it that, because they actually, in that particular blog post, said that they had between 200 million and 600 million Facebook users that were believed to be affected. I think, is that going to zoom in on my face?
No, I got a fixed look. There you go.
Thanks.
Autofocus, baby.
All right, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to zoom in on my face, otherwise that would have been weird.
No.
Basically, long story short, they decided that Greg is much better at the IT security than I am, but I'm going to give you this concept called hashing. Typically,
that's a thing.
Passwords are protected with encryption through a process called
hashing. Technically, it's salting and hashing, but that's some nerdies. You don't even need to worry about that.
Essentially, it protects your password from being seen by basically Facebook employees and developers of the thing. I'm talking specifically about Facebook at this point.
Correct.
They decided that they didn't want to do that for whatever reason, because it seems like that's 101 type stuff, right? I'm not a developer.
Okay.
That feels very 101 type stuff to me.
Here's the problem with that. When you get right down to it, as a developer, security is legitimately hard. And I get that. The problem is Facebook decided to store some of your credentials for several hundred million accounts in plain text.
Yep.
So it wasn't encrypted. Now that is, when you get to like enterprise security type of stuff, having what's called encryption at rest, which means like I take all of your data and then I save it to a disk someplace, and then that stuff stays encrypted. So that way not any Tom, Dick, or Harry can go out and just see that data. Facebook didn't do that. So
shocker.
What you had was upwards of like something like 600 million accounts that were in a state where, at last tally, there were 2,000 engineers and developers that over the course of several years, going back to 2012,
correct,
made over 9 million queries, 9 million separate data requests to this pool of data that was unencrypted that has your usernames and passwords in it that were unencrypted. So,
but you say that it's not a big issue, the fact that it's only Facebook employees.
2,000 of them that had no business knowing what your username and password
and they were going through those files for what they don't know is the reason. They were going into those files with all of y'all's passwords for a reason that they cannot determine.
And part of the problem that I have with this is for Facebook to have started in the Silicon Valley basically at a college campus where it was started in part because of like a programming challenge. Like that's how they would do their initial hires, is have people sit around the table and who could ever like program interesting stuff the fastest or whatever, sort of like what you saw in the movie The Social Network. Those are the people that they would hire. That's how they initially attracted talent. The problem that I have with this is if you have a company that is rooted in development practices, a company that has had net positive impact on developer culture as a whole, you have at least 2,000 of those people making 9 million queries over the course of 7 years. And not a one of them said, hey, there's clear plain text passwords in here. Does anybody else think that that's a problem? Not a one of them said anything.
Let's also go back.
Me?
Let's all go back to the point where we all know that that's just a Facebook password. You all don't reuse any passwords.
No one ever reuses their passwords.
You don't ever reuse your passwords? Yeah. Okay. Quit lying. You reuse the passwords, and that's okay. That's really not okay, but you need to get out of Facebook. The point is, it is now to the point where they are making just terrible, malicious decisions with your data. Cambridge Analytica was one thing.
Yeah.
This is yet again another thing. This is just a series of issues that Facebook has that I honestly, I don't know what to do with Facebook. The only way to fight this is, like, again, it's the same concept of if you don't like what a company's doing, fight them with your wallet. Don't spend.
Yeah.
You fight them with not giving them your data. The problem is
they own everything.
They own a lot of other stuff that you don't know that they're getting your data.
Yeah.
MyFitnessPal is another great example.
Yeah.
If you use MyFitnessPal, which a lot of people do.
Not anymore, but I had an account.
Right.
Yeah.
They give data to Facebook.
Yep.
So you have to start looking who is basically farming and giving data to Facebook and go, ooh, do I want to be in a relationship with them?
Yeah.
Like, that's going to start impacting these other companies. That's going to force Facebook to do something. But I would wonder, are they much like a SIFI? Are they too big to fail? You don't know what a SIFI is, do you?
No, I don't know what a SIFI is.
Look it up. It's called a SIFI. I don't want to make sure I get it right, but it's called a SIFI.
Interesting. So I can tell you one thing. The fact that Facebook owns so much has direct impact on like purchasing decisions I am making in the near future. They just announced. So I make no secret about the fact that I'm a huge VR evangelist. I love virtual reality. I talk about the fact that I have an HTC Vive that's like literally right out of camera range right over there. Oculus, who is the maker of a competitor to the HTC Vive, they just announced a new headset. Fantastic pricing, $399 for a new headset that has higher resolution than the Vive, all kinds of other cool features, super excited about it. Oculus, owned by Facebook.
What are you going to do?
I'm not going to buy it.
You won't do it?
No, I won't do it. I won't do it.
Stands for SIFI, Systemic Important Financial Institution.
Interesting. Okay, so that's like that's the too big to fail.
That is too big to fail.
Yeah.
That's where it came from. They're a SIFI. So, is Facebook getting to the point where they are a not financial?
Yeah.
So are they a SIFI version of whatever that is?
Sure.
Of the internet.
Interesting.
It's an interesting concept, right? I literally just thought of that as we were kind of talking. I don't know how we would want to die. Like there's probably 4 that might quantify as SIFIs. Google, Facebook,
Amazon.
Yeah.
I mean, from a tech perspective.
Yeah. If they failed, then like that would.
Wow.
If Google failed, I am totally boned. Like, I got no phone. I got no email. I don't got a lot of stuff.
Well, see, and that provides an interesting backdrop to Andrew Hatchett brought up. Okay, time to disband Facebook entirely. And I think what's interesting is I think there's a lot of people that are on paper not opposed to that idea. Like there's a lot of people that are starting to question whether or not some of these tech companies have entirely too much power, which I totally get. Mm-hmm. But
this goes back to our conversation from last week.
Exactly. But there's some real ramifications. If you start disbanding some of these big tech companies, that has some big impact. And I don't know that we could elegantly walk back some of the positions that we're in right now. I don't know that we could walk back from those, like disband Google, disband Facebook, disband Amazon, and then walk back to a sane position and then say, okay, now let's go forward again. It's almost like we have to basically, hey, let's hang out here for a second. And I don't know that the business world is going to stop. Because the problem is a lot of these other businesses that are making use of the big companies like Google, Amazon, Facebook,
I think we just totally dropped off and now we're back.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It said we didn't get anything. We were getting no stream.
Interesting.
Hit in the comments if the stream just stopped. Not buffering. That's one thing. Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. Like I got a notification on the bar that basically says we're not getting anything at all. We're actually getting drop frames over there. Huh. That's interesting.
All right, I'm gonna roll back to Splash.
Oh, okay.
Hand transition.
Haha. Okay. We think that's working.
I think it's working. We'll see what happens.
We're getting no drop frames now.
I mean, that's a good thing.
think.
Man, sorry about that, y'all. Weird technical problems, like nonstop today. My house is a black hole of
Black hole, son.
of all things.
So Ben brings up a really great point.
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah.
You know I love Instagram.
I know. And that's part of the problem is there's such Facebook has brilliantly positioned themselves with
Are we back on?
services and apps that people know and love, and most people are going to be hard pressed to walk away from those features that they've come to know and love.
Man, that technical thing just kind of took the wind out of our sails, didn't it?
Let's move on to the next one then. So the short version is change your passwords, people. On Facebook, don't reuse whatever password you're using on Facebook, don't use it anywhere else.
And we know that you're going to, but
Yeah.
you shouldn't, so shame on you. I'm shaming you. This is me shaming you. I'm shaming you publicly. Shaming. John Oliver, shaming. Did you watch that?
I haven't watched it
That was
yet.
really good.
I haven't watched it yet. You want to talk about Apple or Google next?
Oh, man. So much good.
Both of them are big. Let's do Apple first. We'll close out on Google.
Okay. We'll do it.
So Apple's had an interesting week.
Happy Hanukkah. That's the best way to describe
Yeah,
it.
Apple has basically changed up. Surprise to everyone, all of us in the tech industry. I don't think any of us really knew that this was coming. There was, maybe some hints that Apple wanted to change fundamentally how they were doing product releases and stuff. This is a big change, though. Apple has decided that they're going to move to just releasing a steady content or a steady stream of products like once a day for like the next week.
Well, you know why? Next week is the Apple event.
Oh,
They're in
so
the
it's
news
run
for
up
like
to that.
there's like they're in the new. They're going to be at least in the news for
like
2
a week.
weeks.
Yeah,
2 weeks.
That's genius.
Every product got every product refreshed the week before. Then the actual event, which by the way, all the products that they talked about before will then be available the day the event goes live, and then they'll be in the news for the next week after that. They're literally going to dominate tech space like news for 2 whole weeks. Great idea.
That's genius.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Like, had Google not come correct with what they did come correct with, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, Apple would be dominating the news.
Well, what's funny is the Google event was a blip. I mean, it's a big blip, but it was a blip in the background of all the Apple stuff that was happening. Short version is Apple decided to now. There's one big piece of Apple product release that like really made headwaves or headline news like everywhere. Everyone was talking about it, and that is the release of the AirPod 2s, which apparently are not called AirPod 2s. They're called the new AirPods.
I got them. So I saw. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah,
I
no,
always do that. I apologize.
You're good.
I got them literally like a hot second. I saw them drop on their website. I was like, "There's no way that this is real," because I had heard a rumor like on Twitter. I was out in like 6:45 in the morning, and I was like, "What? What is this real?" And they're like, "Yeah, this is absolutely real. This is new H1 chip, blah blah blah." I was like, "Bam!" I ordered the $199 version. I don't even care. I don't even care. Unapologetic about it. And it's for the sake of content though, because you guys know that they're supposed to be coming in next week.
Yeah.
I'll do a review, and then I'll do a comparison to the originals, and then I'll do a comparison to some other headphones that I'll have to go out and get. Probably.
Let's be real.
I mean, the new 65Ts are out.
So the new.
I could get the 65Ts.
That new. Yeah.
So, I mean, man, I could have content for days.
Yeah.
The AirPod 2, new H1 chip. It is specifically designed for the AirPods. It's supposed to give you 5 hours of listening time when you're listening for the audio, but that's really not the purpose of the chip. The purpose of the chip is for the talk time. The talk time before was hot trash in the AirPods. Hot trash.
Let's have a conversation about that then. You talk about the AirPod talk time was hot trash in version 1. Version 2 ain't better.
3 hours?
It was 2 before.
It was an hour and a half before. I never got 2
Okay,
hours.
Like, so let's
that's
talk about
a bunch
that
of
then.
baloney.
So by Apple's admission, talk time was 2 hours on the AirPod V1. So if they're now saying the AirPod V2s are 3 hours, what you're really saying is it's going to be like 2.5, maybe.
No, I think it's going to be 3 hours. I believe that. I would be shocked if it was anything. Okay, 2 hours and 50 minutes.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's basically 3 hours. But my thing is,
Yeah. I'm telling you, like, it's going to be so my big thing is if it's at least an hour more,
Yeah.
at least if it's at least another 30 minutes more, something more than that. Like, I can routinely be on conference calls for 2 hours. If you get me the 2 hour mark,
yeah.
I'm good with that. Get me the 2 hour mark and
Yeah.
I'm fine. Because then I can pop them in and within 15 minutes get another 2 hours of talk time and 3 hours of listening in 15 minutes in the charging case.
That's a big deal.
And that is a big deal.
That's
They're saying
really
a
big
little
deal.
bit better audio. I'm really interested when they say that they didn't really talk a lot about the audio almost at all. Specifically for just like yeah, we're gonna have better audio. Like, okay, well, what does that mean when you say better audio? Because it's really subjective. But
Yeah.
they hammered in on the hey, just in case y'all have an iPhone, hey Siri.
Yeah.
They hammered in on that because now you can do that same thing, which I've been able to do for a long time with Google.
Voice activation versus the touch activation on the AirPod V1s.
Yeah, they didn't
Yeah.
say anything about the touch activation.
Okay.
To be fair, they really hammered in the hey Siri audio version.
Yeah.
So they had that. So let's talk about how I'm just like the master of prophecy all of a sudden. 3 weeks in a row.
Nostradamus himself.
Nostrapeachish.
Okay, sure.
Peachasaurus.
Let's go with that. Let's do that.
Peachasaurus. But the idea for me is, so we'll get to the Galaxy Buds in a second, but I think they have another big seller here. I really, really do. Also, don't buy used AirPods. That's weird.
Super gross.
That's super gross.
I also think that they've got a big seller, but I think that it's a much more reluctant sell.
Really?
So the price, yes. So the price tag on if you get the just straight up brand new AirPod 2s, if you get the top of the line ones that have the wireless charging case, it's $199. $159 with the AirPod V2s with the old style just lightning connector or whatever. Or you can pick up if you have the AirPod V1s and you just want the wireless case, you can buy just the wireless charging case for $79. So that's cool that it's basically the same exact form factor. It's the same shape, everything. So the fact that you can use the new case on the old AirPods, I think is a great move. I love the fact that, and that's a traditionally non-Apple thing to do. Like, they're notorious for making minor changes so that previous generation hardware does not work with next generation
100%.
stuff. So it's a great move in that sense. But it's so underwhelming in terms of what they've actually done, V1 versus V2. Now, granted, the majority of the reviews aren't in yet, so there's still something to be said about maybe battery life is better, maybe the sound quality is better. I'm skeptical. When you get down to that size, there's just physical limitations. There's just not that much you can do for driver size for the speaker themselves and for battery life.
And I will tell you in a week.
I look forward to it.
I'm stupidly excited. So it's...
You should do a blind taste test of the both of them. Hand somebody...
You know what?
Pepsi challenge, baby.
No,
do it.
First of all, that's gross. I'm not putting somebody else's ear on my AirPods. That's weird.
It's for science.
No, what I was going to say is what I'll do is I will do the video with you.
Yeah.
Blind sound testing
yeah.
of Apple. I will put a blindfold on
Yeah.
and you say, here is one AirPod. You control all of it.
Yeah.
And I will put them in.
Yeah.
And then I will take them out, and then I will say what I thought.
Yeah.
And then you give me the other ones, and then we'll reveal.
Okay, I think we should do that.
Okay.
I think that would be very interesting.
I have them both.
I'm super skeptical. I'm betting that you're not going to be able to tell much of a difference at all.
You have to use the exact same songs. Do I get to choose the songs, or are you choosing them?
I'll let you choose.
I was gonna say, like, we have to pick. So we got to try like a bunch of genres of music.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a little Beyonce in there.
I know you will. I know you will. You're so ridiculous. I can't even take him seriously sometimes. It's absurd. So that was the biggest announcement, was the new AirPods. But they've also announced updates for iPad lineup. They have announced,
which I thought was almost as big as you can use your Apple Pencil.
So updates to the Apple Pencil, so better battery life, accuracy, blah 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 blah.
Well, you can use it on the new iPad Minis.
Right, which huge deal. Which Tim Cook, did you see Tim Cook's thing? He teased the AirPod, the AirPod 2s, the new AirPods on Twitter.
It's Tim Apple.
Sorry, Tim Apple. On his iPad Mini with the pencil, like sketching out a picture of it. I was like, that's genius. Way to lean into it, guys.
And he actually basically leaned into making himself a meme.
Yeah, brilliant.
He
you have
memed
to.
himself.
You have to in this day and
Love
age.
it.
That's brilliant marketing.
Way to go, Tim Apple.
Also, changes to the the Mac Pro lineup. Boy, you can get crazy. You can get a Mac Pro now with like 256 gigs of RAM. It'll cost you all the money ever.
So, what was it? Not English Dad. What is that guy on Twitter? Mr. English Dan is his name. It was Modern Dad, not Modern Dad, and they changed a lot. His user is Mr. English Dad.
Yeah.
He actually priced out one like max specs.
Oh yeah.
Mac, and it was $16,000.
Yeah.
$16,000.
That's what happens when you go all in on, like, yes, I would love to have a 2 terabyte NVMe drive.
Should I do it?
And I want 256 gigs RAM and give me a top of the line graphics card and everything else.
I'm gonna do it right.
Bananas.
I'm gonna do it right.
Bananas. But Apple's notorious for if you really want to spend absolute top dollar on admittedly it's a baller machine.
The Pro or the Mac? Which one?
I think it's the Pro.
Okay.
I'm almost positive it was the Pro.
I want one of the trash cans. I still want one of the trash cans.
No, you don't.
I do.
No, you don't.
I do.
Okay.
Don't tell me what I know, Travis.
Oh my gosh.
It's in my dinner.
So while you're being stupid over here,
What do you mean stupid for? This is what we do.
Supposedly so we've got at least another day worth of reveals coming. One of the other rumored products that's going to drop is an update to the iPod Touch.
Why? Have you also heard about the Power Mat? The Power Mat.
Okay, so that's another one that people have been rightfully calling out Apple for. So we mentioned that the new AirPods are you can wirelessly charge them. Okay, cool. Except for Apple has been talking about AirPower, their version of wireless charging, forever, and still hasn't released a product for it. Hang on, let me see this. Okay, so Scott has pulled up an absolute max spec.
That's not expected. I expected out.
MacBook or Mac Pro. I keep wanting to call it MacBook Pro.
Mac Pro.
2.8 or 2.3 gig, 18 core Intel Xeon W, with 256 gigs of RAM.
of RAM.
Of RAM.
Of RAM. Not hard drive space.
Yeah, RAM.
RAM.
16 gigabyte video card. Radeon Pro Vegas trash. 4 terabytes of solid state storage. Okay, good lord. And a magic mouse and a trackpad, because I'm sure, why not? I mean, if you're gonna go all in, go
whatever
all in.
This is. I didn't know what it was.
That's a mounting kit so that you can mount a monitor to the wall like that.
Oh, really? So I can just mount my Mac Pro on the wall?
Or you could probably save $79 and get one off
I don't need
Amazon for like $30.
I'm gonna save that to bring my total to $15,848.
Woo! That's crazy. That's crazy. We use our MacBooks for video production. That's crazy. If I had a boatload of disposable income, sure.
I wouldn't even know what to do. What could you throw at that? Like, our memory right now in our MacBook Pros, which we run and to make our videos, 16 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
I think I have 16. I might have 32.
It's not until you jump up to like 4K editing. No, you have 16 gigs because you have LPDDR3 in yours.
Yep.
It's the same problem that I have, where they decided not to jump to DDR4 because of the power requirements, which irritates me to no end, but I digress. It's not until you get to like 4K editing via network and stuff like that that you really start to see either of these things crawl. I can still edit 4K locally, but boy, does it work a lot better when you start dealing with proxy media. But that's, again,
have no issues with any of that because I don't do anything 4K.
Andrew Hatchett brings up a great... Actually, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people bring up great points. Mr. Savage says you could buy a car with that. Completely agree.
Yeah.
You could buy half a Model Y at this point.
Yeah.
You're halfway there to buying a Model Y. You can put $15,000 down, $16,000 down on a Model Y, have an all-electric SUV, and then have a reasonable car payment.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Hatchett says there are places in the world where you can buy a house, and Dean says there are places in the world where you could buy 5 houses with that.
There's a place.
Also
there
agree.
are places in Ohio that you can buy multiple houses for. I know that for sure.
Real talk.
Like real talk in Akron, you can buy whole houses.
I don't know. That's because no one wants to live in Akron.
But I'm not.
I don't even care.
For the folks that are watching
Don't at
in
me.
Akron,
Don't at me.
his is. Oh my
mean, you're not
god,
wrong.
that is crazy.
Yeah, that's
5
pretty
houses
insane.
with that. I don't even want that. I don't. What would I do with that?
Okay, so in my opinion, this is very similar to like the really high end Pixel Book or the Pixel Slate or something along those lines. When you get to the high end, it's cool, yes, awesome, but what's the practical use case for it? And even with us being all invested in Apple hardware and Final Cut and all the rest of this stuff, the use case is just not there for us.
Motion pictures, okay.
Or even like big production houses. Like if this is what
Right.
you do professionally, sure. Hey, whatever, man. Do your thing.
In KBHD.
Sure.
I can see that because he uses 8K video for YouTube.
There's no flipping way that we could do 8K on our laptops.
I don't know. I don't see
yeah.
There's no 8K televisions.
I mean, there are, but again, you got to be... The argument for 8K, though, on the production side is purely for panning, scaling, zooming, like all of those things, like the neat camera tricks that you can do when you shoot wide at 8K.
Well, yeah, because then
And
you
then
can
you
do
can crop
like
all the way in and
you can
still
do
get 1080p.
super smooth, like zoom in,
Yeah.
and you're actually just holding the camera like this.
Yeah.
You actually don't move the camera at all, so it looks super smooth the whole time. You
Because
do all
the
these,
camera doesn't move.
right? You
Yeah.
do these pans and zooms and this
Yeah.
and that, like all the tricks that we have to do by literally going.
To stay at 1080p, because as
Yeah.
soon as you zoom in, if you crop in on that, then that lowers the resolution that you have. So to your point, this is all stuff that we learn through doing YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
8K makes sense from a production standpoint.
Yeah, 'cause
because you're not shooting, like you're not going to get this type of a picture where it's like nice and framed on us
Nope.
at 8K because no one's going to watch. No one's watching
No.
your 8K stuff.
I wouldn't even know how. Like,
Planet Earth is like the series that I could see running 8K and that
to
being
pick
like
up the detail,
a pretty thing. Yeah.
But you know what? I'll watch that on my 1080p television.
Here.
I mean, that's what I do. Like, I watch
Yeah.
Planet Earth stuff on a 1080p television.
All right, Google. Let's round
You
this
are
out.
just super excited about this Google thing, man.
I'm pumped about this.
You
this
are
is
pumped about this.
this is the only thing that I've seen happen all week, short of this Facebook announcement, because they suck at security, that has interrupted Apple's basically dominance of the news cycle, and that is Google kind of surprise announced a service that we've been talking about for a while. Called this. This is my Nostradamus moment. So a while back, Google did a thing called Project Stream. We've talked about it on the live show before, where short version is you could play a current AAA title. It's called Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Beautiful game. It's available on Xbox and PC and PlayStation, all the rest of them. So this is a current modern game, and you could play it for free during this trial in your Chrome browser. And the interesting thing was that you could do it from any Chrome browser, be that on a low power Chromebook that doesn't have like discrete video card, on a phone, whatever, and it looked the same. It still looked absolutely gorgeous. That's impressive because the majority of the expense that you have in a desktop or in a high-end desktop or in a console or something along those lines is the GPU. It's the graphics processor. It's the thing that makes the pretty. That's very, very expensive. Google has basically done a bunch of trials where you can play gorgeous looking games without having to have the graphics processor local. So cloud gaming, this is not new, this is not original, this has been done before, but the way that Google has gone about doing it is very, very interesting. Fast forward to a couple days ago, and Google announces a new service called Google Stadia, which is, well, it's a terrible name. The name
You think so?
I think the name is stupid.
Why?
I'm not impressed with the name. Because it doesn't tell you anything about the service whatsoever. It tells you nothing about the service. But the technology behind it, super interesting stuff. What they've announced is so not only the service that lets you play AAA titles via a web browser, just like Project Stream was demoing.
What are AAA titles?
AAA titles these are the video games that take 10 years and hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, we're talking thousands of people that work on this. Any game that you see a commercial for, if you see a commercial for it on TV, it's a AAA title. Halo, Battlefield, Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed's a big one. Gosh, I'm trying to think of some
I didn't
other...
actually know that. I wasn't asking for like y'all's benefit. I didn't actually know the answer to that.
Yeah, AAA titles are the blockbuster movies of the video game industry. These are the games with like all the marketing dollars behind them and everything. I mean, they're absurd. They are cash cows. And they're usually the prettiest too, because you spend a lot of time as an artist, as a graphics developer, making the game look gorgeous and play gorgeous and all this other stuff.
Okay.
So those are usually the ones that are the massive test of a console's power or of a desktop's power. So the idea that you could get away with playing current AAA titles without having to invest, I mean, let's be real, over $1,000.
I was gonna say I can't
way
because
over $1,000.
for one, I don't have a desktop in my house at all, so I couldn't do that.
And you have no interest in it either.
None. No, I have no interest in doing it. Like,
which I get.
If you're telling me that my barrier to entry is $1,000, and then I have to learn how to play the game that I was only kind of, okay, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
But if you go to a game developer and I go, look, there's an untapped market of people like Scott that don't have the hardware to do this.
Yeah.
And you could effectively sell him the game.
Yeah.
Because he wants to play, and we'll let you use our compute power so he can play on his MacBook.
Mm-hmm.
Would you want that as a game developer? The answer is, do you want more dollars? Like, that's the question that they're asking.
Shut up and take my money.
Yeah, shut up and take my money.
Yeah.
I will gladly do so. How about this? There are a ton of people in, say, I don't know, regions like India that do not have the ability to do the same thing.
Yeah.
A lot of times the most powerful device they have are their phones. So if you're telling me that you have a massive market of people in, say, India that have the ability to have phones and play on it, and then you go, you can also play AAA games? Yeah, go ahead. Here's my money.
Yes. So
there's a lot of question marks, but
and a
that's
lot of caveats.
That's effectively what you could get.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But one caveat to all of that is the fact that this is a streaming technology. So think Netflix, and that's effectively what Google has been wanting to do, is create a Netflix for games. Mm-hmm. Now, when we talked about this story, I mentioned that Google is basically getting into the next generation of console wars, which is heating up right now. This is Google's entry, is going to be Stadia. Mm-hmm. Alongside of this service, they also announced a controller that is Bluetooth paired.
Wireless paired. Like, no, Wi-Fi paired.
Oh, like, sorry. It's Wi-Fi paired. You're right, because it has to be able to basically communicate back to the Stadia service. Very interesting. It has Bluetooth in it, and it looks like a standard, Xbox controller. I mean, that's a Steam controller up there. It's a very similar layout. It's dual joystick. It's bumpers and triggers, ABXY, the D-pad that's on it, like every other modern console that's out there. For those of you that play video games, it doesn't really make sense to you anyway, but the controller that you're getting isn't a weird, funky one, which is, to be completely transparent, that is step number one. If you can't get the controller right, your service, your console is dead on arrival. Mm-hmm. It does not matter. Others have tried and failed. I think it was Philips. Yeah, Philips CDI has tried. A bunch of other companies have tried in the past with creating new, it's an inventive controller. Atari, the last Atari that came out was called the Atari Jaguar, had a controller that was like this big and had 21 buttons on it.
Why would you do that?
And it was like a giant keypad on the front. It was so stupid. If you don't get the controller right, you're going to fail out the gate. Google got it right. It looks really, really good.
Yeah.
They have built into it, they have an assistant button, so you can basically just press the assistant button. You get instant access to the assistant. You can ask it questions.
All while you're playing the game, by the way.
Yes. Super cool. Matter of fact, one of the demos that they showed for this was, there's a game called Tomb Raider, and it's this kind of platform puzzly type of game. So you're exploring, think of like Indiana Jones. So you're exploring these tombs, and there's, you know, puzzles that you have to try and solve along the way. And if you can't figure it out, and some of them are hard, like some of them have taken me a long time to figure out, you could basically say like, hey, how do I solve this thing? And it will, in real time, it'll look at what tomb you're at and then pull up a video of that and then show you how to do the thing, and then you just go back to the game and play, and boom, there you go. Awesome, right? I mean, that's not like a thing that everyone needs, but just a cool, neat little integration. It's the details like that that are going to really make this thing sell. The other big one that really got me, that you and I talked about before we went live, there's this concept of state sharing. Again, we have to get a little nerdy for a second. So you have a Nintendo Classic.
I do.
I have a Super Nintendo Classic. Matter of fact, I put it back up there when I'm done playing with it, so it's, you know, in shot for our live show. But I play with that thing a lot. That's an emulator. So emulators of older consoles and stuff like that have this concept called a save state, where old games you could only save at certain times. Like, you have to find the save point so that you could save your game. And with save states, you don't have to do that. You just hit a button and boom, it saves everything about the game, your exact position, all the items you have, and your health, and your score, and all this other nonsense. What Google is trying to do is do something very, very similar, but for basically any PC game that would support this. So what's interesting about that is there's a game called Mario Maker.
I love it. I don't even own it.
It's fantastic.
I watch games.
It's some of the best video game footage you will find out there.
Uh-huh.
If anybody remembers the old school Nintendo Mario, right, the side-scrolling platformer, Mario Maker is basically what happens when you give a whole bunch of people, average Joes, access to the tools to create their own Mario levels. And what has happened over time is people have created more and more evil versions of Mario levels.
God,
little things. You just go. The words don't do it justice. Go look at some of the videos that are out there of people who have made just evil Mario Maker levels.
Mario Maker troll levels.
They're hilarious.
Oh man, they're so good.
You, as somebody who has grown up playing Mario, like I feel the frustration that some of these people have to have. That you're like, oh, I'm gonna jump here, and then you just fall and die immediately, and you're like.
It's the secret blocks where you're like, you get a time a jump.
Yeah.
And you're running, and you get ready to jump, and then you bash your head on the secret. Like an
invisible block that appears and then just shoots you,
then you go right to the ground.
Yeah.
So infuriating.
That thing alone made Mario Maker a massive hit for Nintendo. And there's a big market for people like yourself that watch other people play video games. I do it all the time too. Like that's a big thing right now. Twitch is an entire web page that is devoted to people watching other people play video games. So, the argument then goes, well, if Google has this gaming platform where you can like save and share states of games with other people, now you've got the potential where you could set up something very similar to Mario Maker, where I set up a challenge that I put out onto the internet for other people to participate in and say, like, can you make it past this boss? Here's the setup, and you've got this much health and these items. Good luck, everybody.
And then you send them the URL.
And then other people can just click on it, and then, boom, you're playing instantly. Like 5 seconds tops. There's no patching, there's no downloads. Nope. It's just an instant stream like you're watching Netflix. And there you go. It also has native YouTube capabilities, so you can stream directly from it. And you can... Did you see the NBA 2K thing?
I did.
Okay. There's a bit where... So we're doing a live stream right now. There's the comment section. There's a bit where they show somebody who's playing NBA 2K, basketball game, and he opens it up so that other people that are in the comment section can join in real time and play as this guy's opponents on the court.
Like the players... on the court.
None of this exists right now. None of this is any type of feature that exists in the current gaming market. This is a big differentiator for Google. A big one.
If they can get it right.
Yeah.
Everybody's been talking about latency. I don't think this is not going to be this is not going to be a platform for competitive gaming. Just my personal opinion.
1000% agree.
It's just not going to be, because latency is a no-fly zone in competitive gaming.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be something that you're going to see in this. These are really strictly geared to people kind of like, I would argue that you're out.
I'm a real borderline. I'm an edge case. Very, very borderline on it. I'm very interested. Having played extensively playing the Project Stream beta that they launched, I was very impressed by the video quality. Impressed by the latency. There's minimal latency. It is there. No question it is there. But it is pretty minimal.
Okay.
But I also don't know as they scale this up and deploy it to, because so here's the other interesting thing. These cloud servers that are going to be running these games are being deployed to basically Google endpoints. So Google owns data centers all over the world.
Everywhere.
And it's how Google is able to basically serve you up almost instantaneous search results. So what they're doing is, because they already own the land space, because they already own the data centers, they're going to drop this hardware in so that it's local to whoever wants to play. And that minimizes the amount of latency that you have as you're pushing buttons and then seeing your character jump on screen or something along those lines. That's key. That's super duper critical.
Yeah.
So Google's brilliantly positioned to be able to do this. I don't know what the original Project Stream beta, if that was also deployed worldwide or if that was like in a handful of data centers or something. But if the latency drops any more than what it was when I played it, I'm tempted.
Really?
It depends. It will depend on the game, and it depends on the price tag, and that's the other thing that they did not announce yet.
I'm interested in the price tag perspective because you buy games off of Steam.
I do,
but they're full price, right?
No, I am cheap, like cheap. I don't buy games unless they're on some absurd sale. Like,
how much are the games on like full price? Are they? Like so, $60?
Yeah, you can buy brand new full price games. $60 is a pretty typical price.
Really?
The way that the kind of pricing structure for video games works, it's been $60 approximate for a long time. So
yeah, I mean that's
games,
what I remember for the longest time.
Exactly. So video games are one of the rare goods that has not gone up in price as a product of inflation. They have stayed pretty much locked for a long time. And that's where you see the rise of things like microtransactions, DLC, expansions, like all of this other weird loot boxes, loot crates, all of those things. That's a product of the fact that consumers have been traditionally very, very unwilling to spend more than about $60 on a video game. So it costs more and more and more and more with every AAA title. It costs more money to create these massive games. And developers have to figure out a way to get their money back. And that's why you see these things. So, yes, on Steam, to get back to your point, you can pick up a brand new game for like $50, $60. The trick is, at least on Steam, stuff goes on sale all the time. Now, you may not be getting brand new games, but a year old, 2 years old, 3 years old, games that are still fantastic games, you can pick up for a song and a dance. $20 sometimes. $10. Like, I routinely will wait until a game goes on 75 or 80% sale and then pick it up then if it's something I'm interested in.
Really?
And that's on top of at least twice a year. There's a summer sale and a winter sale. And around the winter sale is right around Christmas when everyone's like buying gifts and or flush with cash from the holidays, and they do absurd sales. I mean, like 90% off some stuff. It's crazy.
But not like the most brand new games.
Probably not. That's up to the publishers themselves. But a lot of the games that I'm buying, like, I mean, let's be real. I got 4 kids. I'm not up to date on gaming by any stretch. Like, I'm happy if I get time to play video games. So it's an advantage for me because now, if there's a bunch of games that have been out there for a long time that I've wanted to play, if I buy them on Xbox, I'm probably spending minimum $35 to $45.
Easily.
Minimum. And that's used more than likely from GameStop.
Oh, yeah.
If you buy it on Steam, like now that I've already put the money into the desktop that's going to play it, if I buy it on Steam, I'll pick up games for $5. I'll pick up games for $10. You can get it.
How much would you pay for a subscription service? Any game you want. Assuming you can just kind of like go in and out, like Google is describing. $20 a month.
No.
I'm surprised by that.
No, because, well, again, the thing is, I'm the wrong demographic for that. I already have the desktop. I know about Steam. I'm an active participant on Steam. I shop the deals. And I don't need, like, the advantage to something like Google Stadia is that you don't have to spend $1,500 on a baller desktop. Mm-hmm. So you could then spend $10, $15, $20 a month to get access to AAA titles that look on par with what I'm doing. I mean, within reason. It's like if you're watching Netflix and you get a little bit of a frame buffer, the quality goes down, but then it eventually comes back. That's what you're seeing. I mean, you'll see weird compression artifacts, like weird pixelation and stuff. You'll see color banding where the colors look just a little bit off versus if you were running it natively at home. But, you run, 10, 15, $20 a month for how long? And you've played the same games that I have. Matter of fact, you've played newer games that I have at that point.
Yeah, because I have the Switch.
Which, yeah. But, I mean, even if you were paying for Stadia, you would be able to have access to newer games than what I would buy on Steam, because I don't buy new games. I don't want to spend the money.
$10 a month.
Okay, now you're talking. $10 a month. I'm
$15 a month.
$10 a month. I'm gonna do it at least for a little while, even as just as a trial, just to see what it's all about. $15 a month. I don't know. It all of this depends on what games are available. Right now, there are 3 games.
Well, I'm definitely not paying $15 a month for that.
Yeah.
But like, if you could have, oh man, could you imagine if you had the whole library of Steam?
That's a different story. So when you get to quantity of games, now you have my interest, even at $15 or $20 a month, because now that's money that I don't have to spend on Steam, period. Now I can just pick up a title, play with it for a little bit. If I like it and I want to keep it, I would use it as my demo show, as a demo room. Go play a crap ton of games and stuff that I like, buy it on Steam. Now I can play it local, higher resolution, faster, blah, 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 blah. That's what I would do.
That's not a bad idea. I wouldn't do that. I'm not a gamer, though. I play Nintendo Switch for the sake of Mario.
What's funny is
I love Mario.
What's funny is I have a Nintendo Switch. I don't play it.
No, you don't.
I don't at all.
That thing gets a workout in our house.
I played Odyssey for a little bit.
I love Mario Odyssey.
Odyssey's a great game. I still haven't beat it. I have Smash Brothers. I've probably played the most of that.
I have.
But I'm not even close to unlocking all the characters on Smash.
Played it in maybe 20 minutes. I'm not with it. I don't get it.
You gotta I grew up playing Smash, so I love Smash. So that's the other thing that I was gonna bring up. James brings up a great point. Xbox Game Pass. What you were talking about, access to this giant library of games, Microsoft is doing, because, so again, we had this conversation before we went live. This is Google's entry into the next console wars. Microsoft is a very distant third place at best. The biggest 2 in the world as far as video game manufacturers, studios, Sony and Nintendo.
Oh, yeah, no question.
Nintendo, if you think that Nintendo is big, I promise you Nintendo is at least 10 times bigger than what you think it is. Nintendo has historically had so much money that it's sitting on top of that it could take a loss for a decade and still come out smelling like roses. They are huge. Absolutely huge. Yeah, they're massive. So it's Nintendo. You see what I'm saying?
Well, hang on.
You see what I'm saying?
Let's get some.
That's Japanese. That's Japanese yen, of course.
Yes,
but still.
But let's get some. Let me get some context with that.
The number is 1.056 trillion yen. There's a significant translation factor there. Don't worry. We got to do the exchange rates on that. But so it's Nintendo and Sony are the 2 big ones. Microsoft is a very, very, very distant third. So what Microsoft has been doing in the meantime is trying to cater to expand their audience by getting better access to games, doing cross-platform stuff, which is very interesting. The ability to let the Nintendo and the Microsoft Xbox and the PlayStation 4 work together.
How many zeros is that?
A lot. Getting them to be able to play video games together. Xbox Game Pass has been about the greatest deal in gaming for a very long time. For a while, it was $1 and you got 3 months of it, and you could just download and play almost any game in the Xbox.
I don't think
library.
I added enough zeros. That's 1,000, 100,000, 100 million. Well, that's 10 billion.
You still gotta keep going.
I gotta go a little ways.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Nintendo has a lot of money. They started out as a trading card company. They made trading cards.
That's. I think I added an extra 0.
Okay, so hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions. So 10 trillion.
So I gotta take off 1 0.
1 0 equals. So 100,000 millions billion $9 billion. That's just cash money they're sitting on. And what's funny is the Switch is making them a boatload of money. A boatload.
In 2018, Nintendo's net sales amounted to $9.9 billion US, up from $4.36 billion. They doubled and then some.
It's
their sales.
That's because the Wii U was trash. No one played the Wii U at all. Wow. And then they basically took, and that's what I love about this story about Nintendo is they are not afraid to experiment and do some wacky stuff because they got the money to do it. They don't have to be like so concerned about how much money they have. They can throw out a couple of consoles that don't do that well. They did the Wii, which did numbers. Because it was kind of the first time that you saw motion controls make their way into video games. They did the Wii U, nobody bought it. They do the Switch, boom.
So, to put it in perspective, in 2018, net sales for Nintendo was $9.95 million.
Yeah.
Or no, it had to be million. 9.9 billion.
Yeah.
Is what it says. That's half of what they made in 2009.
Yeah.
Half. That's a down year.
Yeah, it's a down year.
Half. $18 billion in 2009.
Nintendo's an interesting company, man. They know their craft. They know their demographic.
That is insanity.
And Microsoft love them to death. I love, technically what they're doing is very, very interesting stuff. But Microsoft is doing the kind of, I can't compete with you directly, Sony, because you're murdering me on console exclusives and everything else. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to do all this kind of tertiary stuff. I'm going to lay the groundwork for having the penultimate service. So you can do interesting stuff Windows 10 desktop, Xbox One S. Yeah. I can stream games from my Xbox to my desktop and just play right on my desktop if I don't feel like going over to the 1% theater over there. I can do the opposite. I can fire up my Xbox and I can stream PC games to my Xbox and play on the couch instead of having to hook up a wireless keyboard or something and sit all the way over there. I mean, that's not a feature that you get on any other platform, period, at all. You could, for a while, there were games that you could buy. You buy it one time for the Xbox, and you can also play it on PC.
Do they do that anymore?
There are games that support that, but the game has to specifically support that. So that is still a thing that is rolling out, but there's just not a ton of games that are out there that do that.
Okay.
But that's a brilliant move too, because I own duplicate games because I want to play it on PC as well as Xbox.
That's so weird.
Yeah, whatever. Is what it is.
Okay.
You got anything else?
I got nothing, man.
I got nothing else, man.
All right, y'all. Hit him with the socials.
Yeah, that's all I got. Oh,
you have been doing stuff on the channel's socials.
I have been, actually. So you can find me on the tweet machine at Ominous Hominid, and we are dusting off. I'm really going to make the push to make our channel's Twitter account kind of the center voice for everything that happens on the channel. So if you haven't done so, we would definitely appreciate if you're on Twitter going out there and giving us a follow. It is at The Tech Speaks on Twitter. You can find this guy on some other stuff. Nobody cares.
It's true.
Team Greg.
Oh! This guy is making a Teespring account for the channel. We're going to evidently start selling merch.
I mean, why not? I had
Nuclear.
I had a
Did I say it right? Nuclear.
No. That's why we have the t-shirt. So I had a couple people reach out to me and legitimately ask, hey, you guys should put that on a t-shirt. It's hilarious. Just as a way to represent, A, a joke, and B, represent the brand. So we're working on some t-shirt designs. We have a couple that are out there now. If you find them, you can buy them, but be advised that design is probably going to change over time. So right now we have a Team Greg and a Team Scott shirt, and we also have one that just says Nuclear.
Nuclear.
New. Clear.
Nuclear. Nuclear.
New. Clear.
Nuclear.
And that's exactly why. Just to capitalize on Scott being an idiot. Gotta have it.
Nuclear.
All right, hit him with your socials now.
At Scott Peachy on Twitter and at For the Moment.
Oh, really?
For the Moment, Instagram at the Scott Peachy. I'm heavily considering it. This one pushed me over the edge.
Really?
It really pushed me over the edge.
Wow. Yeah. Scott might cancel his Instagram. So you might as well go out there and check out those pretty pictures while you can, while they're there.
I won't know what to do.
Offer.
Who, if they're not on Instagram, are they real?
Are they even real people? Google. If a bear takes a picture in the woods and posts it to Instagram,
is it really real? I don't know if Jim.
Mr. Savage, Team Greg. You know, buddy. I got you.
Why? Or everyone? What is this? That's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Kiss the ring.
I don't think so.
Kiss the ring.
We will. I will not be doing that. I will not be doing that. Jim Lynch is still out there. I have some thoughts on the Galaxy Buds. I don't have a chance to get my hand on them yet. But I am actively trying to figure out how to get a pair and to do a review.
Okay, there you have it. That's going to do it for us for this week. We appreciate you all so much for stopping by to check out this. This was kind of a random show tonight.
Team Scott.
I mean, let's be real. Team Greg all the way.
Team Scott.
All right, friends. We will see you next week. Hopefully, we will have some more of these technical problems ironed out. I'm not hopeful because apparently that's just the thing that we're going to do every week. Is just have a different weird technical problem that it takes us 20 minutes to figure out.
If only, I mean, oh man, I could have just roasted you. And I kind of want to do it.
I don't even know what you're going to say to roast me any more than you have already said.
I don't know if he's going to have time to do it because he's making copious amounts of other content.
Except for you know what's on the docket that I can't even talk about right now. This guy.
Woo!
Oh, such a jerk. All right, we will see you all next week. Thank you all so much.